Okay, welcome everyone to day 11 of 1000 days of life business and life coaching. If you notice these signs that we are going to talk about today, don't marry him. So now we're going to focus on the man. Today, this same time next Sunday, we will focus on the woman. So it will become, if you notice these signs, don't marry her. But for today, we will talk about him. Okay? So our conversation today will be focused on the early warning signs during courtship. And as usual, please tell us where you are joining this live session from. Introduce yourself in the chat and then tell me what your expectations are today. Tell me who you are, where you are joining from, and what you expect to learn from today as we go on. Okay. And what you expect to learn. So welcome. I see Aderity, who has now become a regular. Aderity, good to see you, to have you. I see Yava Ukut. I see Pauline Smith. Okay, so thank you for coming. So please put in the chat, your expectations and where you are joining us from. Okay, why am I doing this? All right, for those of you joining us for the very first time, I woke up 2 weeks ago and asked myself if I had just 1000 more days to live and I have to share with the world, what am I going to say to the world? And of course, there are three things I'm hoping to drop for the world, three legacies. Number one is to help you develop skills and strategies to attain financial independence. The second one is to help you to scale your business, to take it from local, to take it from a hobby to something really, really significant and impactful across the world. And then number three is to help you to build a loving family that nurtures confident, world-changing children, just like I have done in the past 29 years. So this is why every Sunday, our topic will focus on family. On the other days, we'll handle different aspects of business, running your business, scaling it, and doing well. Okay, Aderity is joining from Ocean State, and Charlie Spice says, well done, sir, you're a blessing to us all. I'm happy to hear that. Godwin, good to have you again from Port Harcourt. Excellent. Okay, so this is why I'm doing what I'm doing. And then what gives me the audacity to want to do this for the world? I've had very remarkable career with Chevron and Shell. I've had global experience traveling the world, working in over 50 industries across more than 12 countries. Okay, and I have had the privilege to work with the Stanford University in their Stanford Seed program. I teach at the Lagos Business School as an adjunct and also in China Europe International Business School. More importantly, what I'm most proud of is the fact that I have raised a godly family. This is my 29th year of marriage, and I've learned a lot I'm going to be sharing, both for those who are yet to go into marriage and for those who are already in marriage. Okay, so let's go right into it in today's topic. One of the questions I would like you to reflect on in the chat, in the comment section. And of course, if you've been attending our live sessions, you know that I always encourage you to type in the comment section to engage with the topic, because it's a live coaching session. It's not a seminar, all right, and it's not a lecture. So, and then whenever you hear something that is very, very touching for you, an aha moment for you, please type it in the chat, type it in the comment section. All right. Okay, so why did our ancestors I know this happens in most cultures in Africa, but I know from the culture I come from that before you get married, like in the olden days, our young people don't seem to do that again as much as we used to do in the 50s, in the 60s, in the 70s. Okay? Now, before, I mean, if you are a woman, a young woman, and you bring a man to your parents and say to them, this is the man I want to get married to, they will say to the man, okay, welcome, welcome, sir. All right? So give us some time, and then we will call you back and then get to know you more. Then the family, the uncles, the grandparents, and people from your family will immediately launch an investigation into that other family. They want to find out as much as possible about the family background of the man that you brought to them. Why do they do this? And I know that some Middle Eastern cultures also did the same thing, because if you read the historical document of the ancient Jewish nation, you will hear people like Abraham say, please do not get a wife for my son. From around here in Canaan, you must go to my people. So there's a reason that they always want to find out the family background, because, like they say, the apple does not fall far from the tree. So many times, if it was in the grandfather, and if it was in the father, then it's very, very likely that it's going to be in the son. Okay, so I want to make 3 astonishing statements that will now launch us into the agenda today. The first one is, red flags in courtship are the whispers of your intuition. Don't ignore them. I have had opportunity to counsel, to talk to many young women who fell in terrible marriages. And then in almost all the circumstances, almost all of them, all the situations, they will say, sir, we knew. We knew. We saw the warning signs, but we ignored them because I thought I was going to change the man after marriage. Please write it in the comment section. Marriage does not change the man. Don't say, young woman, don't say, I want to marry him and change him. You cannot change him. Marriage is not what is going to change him. Marriage will actually bring out a lot more of what he already is. So, red flags, they are the whispers of your intuition telling you, don't go, don't go, don't go, don't go, don't go. But many times, like they say that love is blind, you close your eyes and then you go into it, and then problems result. Number 2, the way someone treats you during courtship is a preview of your future together. Please type this in the chat. Yes, Timipre, you're right. Marriage doesn't change a man. But how many times do we have women who say, don't worry, I'll marry him, I'll fix him? In fact, someone said that about a particular man that I knew very, very well. And she said it like 20, 25 years ago. She said, don't worry, I'll marry him and I'll fix him. Almost 20 years into the marriage, she's fixed nothing. She has fixed nothing. So if the man is lazy now, if he's lazy right now, and you say, oh, don't worry, by the time I marry him and then he becomes responsible and children come, I will fix him, I will change him. You will not change him. You cannot. All right, so that is statement number 2. Statement number 3, which I want you to bear in mind, okay, is that love should never blind you to the warning signs. Pay attention to the little things. The little things you see in the man. Like I said, next week we will talk about the woman. But I want to take it one by one so that we don't mix things. We are talking about the warning signs for young women. Next week, we will talk about the warning signs for young women. Some of those warning signs, some of these red flags are the same, both for the man and for the woman. And I can tell you one right now for free. Do not marry a person who has low self-esteem. That is number one recipe for hell. Please type that in the chat. It applies to the man, it applies to the woman. But I'm going to emphasize it next week when we talk about the woman you should never marry. Okay? Do not, I repeat, marry a person, whether it's a man or woman, who has low self-esteem. It will not work. It will not work. Low self-esteem is number one sign that that marriage is going to collapse. I am saying this after 29 years of my own marriage and then helping thousands and thousands of married people. I was shocked. I discovered this. I didn't read it from the book, but I discovered indeed that if you marry someone with a low self-esteem, it's a recipe for failure. Type that in the chat. Do not marry a person with low self-esteem. I cannot shout this enough. Do not marry, whether it's a man or woman, do not marry a person with low self-esteem. All right? Pay attention to the little things. Okay. So there are 7 root causes of destruction in marriages. When I hear the stories coming out of different countries, it's shocking, especially in recent times. There have been many cases of Nigerian men shooting their wives, killing them. Yes, killing them. They shoot the wife and then they kill themselves when the police arrives. How many of you have actually read that, read any of this news? It's been happening a lot in recent times. And then the storyline is usually the same. The men become very, very resentful and angry because they brought this woman to the United States from the village. The woman goes there and develops wings and begins to disrespect and make the man to sleep in the couch and lock the man outside the house. And then it gets to a point the man can take it no more. And then he picks a gun, kills the wife, and then kills himself. It's happening all over the place. And this is very, very sad. Okay, so there are 7 roots of destruction in today's marriages. The first one is domestic violence. Domestic violence. And it is very, very shocking how common it is in our world today. We are going to talk about each of them one after the other, and I will tell you how to recognize that the man is going to be he's going to be very, very abusive physically. The second marriage killer is infidelity. My oh my, no marriage can withstand infidelity because it was never meant to be part of the marriage covenant, either from the man or from the woman. The third one I have seen among many marriages is financial recklessness. The fourth one is in-law troubles. Always having altercations with in-laws. Always having problems with in-laws, so that can actually create a hell in marriage. And then another strange one I have found in Nigeria, and I guess it's the same in many parts of the world, and especially in Africa. Men who are in secret cult. Okay, men who are in secret cult, and then you never know, and you marry them, and you marry into some very, very strange experiences. I have also found cases where a man goes to marry a woman, and then the woman does not know that this guy is gay, and the man does not disclose it, and the woman finds out very, very late into the marriage. It's happened many, many times. And then there are the health related secrets, so people who get into marriages with health secrets about their health, about the condition of their health, of their body, and they never disclose it. So I know one particular case, the man had some spinal cord injury or problem, and then did not disclose to the girl that he was impotent, and then he went ahead and married this girl. And then only for the girl to discover that the man is impotent. The man did not disclose all the details about his health. And then, of course, that marriage ran into problems. So we are saying, how do you sense all these things I've listed here before they happen? Remember the 3 statements I made at the beginning, that you cannot change the man. That marriage does not change the man. So you cannot say, oh, not to worry, when I marry him, I will change him. You cannot do that. All right, so let's start with number 1. What are the signs, the red flags, that the man you want to marry will be domestically violent, that he'll be very, very abusive physically? Now, if you're courting a man or you're friends with him, and this guy is very, very quick to anger, very small, minor disagreement between you and him, the thing escalates into intense physical aggression, intense anger, my sister, run for your life. Run for your life. If you are walking with the man, you're taking a walk across the bush path or in the neighborhood, and then he sees a lizard somewhere in the distance, and this man leaves you, carries 7 pieces of stone, 7 stones or something, and then begins to pursue this lizard and kills this lizard that is going on his own way. He is not in your way, and he kills that lizard. My sister, run for your life, because when you guys get married, you are going to become that lizard. So it's not just when his anger escalates at the most minor agreements, either with you or with other people. Run for your life. That is domestic violence in his setup. If this guy is extremely jealous or very, very possessive of you, anytime he sees somebody around you, anytime he sees a man around you, even if he's your brother, he's accusing you of being unfaithful. If he's that possessive, please run for your life. You cannot withstand it when you get married. If he's also showing some controlling behavior, he tries to control all your actions, everything. Who are you seeing today? What did you do? How did you do it? How much did you spend? And all that and all that. Please run for your life. And most especially, if this guy shouts at you, run for your life. It's a red flag. You will not change him after marriage. It will escalate. The cases of domestic violence, even in religious organizations, in churches, are very, very terrifying. I can't count 1 or 2 or 3 that I've had to personally get involved in. You see a man that looks like an angel. He's a pastor, he's religious and all that, but this guy is beating the wife blue. Even pastors, so many of them are doing it. So pay attention to these little details. This is how to avoid domestic violence in marriage. Number 2, what are the signs that this man is going to cheat on you, that is going to be an adulterous person? The very first one is, if both of you are having premarital sex, if he's sleeping with you, now that you're not married, I can guarantee you that when you get married, he will also try it with another girl. I know you will say that this is Old Testament, that the new thing is you're going to marry her, he's going to marry you, therefore you people can sleep. And you call us Old Testament because we are old people. And you say, my sister, if he's sleeping with you, be sure, now that you're not married to him, be sure that it will continue. He will sleep with other people after you get married. Okay? And then, so premarital, keeping yourself away from premarital sex matters. If he really, really, really loves you enough, he will wait until you get married before you sleep together. Okay? Now, the other thing that many young women don't know, because many people think that, many girls think, oh, let me tie the man down with sex. You are doing the opposite, because I can tell you for free, I'm a man. When a man sleeps with you, a man you are not married to, you become devalued and cheap in his heart. When he wants to go get married, he will tell his fellow guys, I can't marry with that whore, I can't marry that whore. He will go and now find somebody who is a virgin and marry. It happens every day. Okay? The other way you are going to find out that the man will cheat on you, that he's going to be an adulterous partner, is if this guy is preoccupied with pornography. and X-rated movies, run for your life. If he's very, very secretive, he hides his phone, he doesn't discuss his whereabouts, he's very, very protective of his privacy, he is going to likely be an adulterous person. If he shows sudden lack of interest in spending time together with you, something is going on. And then, of course, the other one, he disappears frequently and he doesn't explain to you where he is going. Let's talk about number 3. Financial recklessness. Many men are financially reckless. Very, very financially reckless. And if you marry a financially reckless person, you are setting up yourself for a very, very difficult marriage. How can you tell if this gentleman you are going to marry is going to be financially irresponsible? 1, lavish spending. Just lavish spending. No records, no budgeting, nothing. The guy spends lavishly, and especially he shows it on social media. You are in trouble. Especially if this guy has no stable income. He has no stable source of income, and you don't even know exactly where his income is coming from. Run for, please don't marry somebody who can't tell you where his money is coming from. Girls, I know that people say that you like money, you love money, but the thing will kill you. Don't marry a man who has get rich quick tendencies. Okay, he's always going to gamble. Oh, sporty bet today I'm going to win 250,000. Tomorrow, okay, and then he wins nothing. He keeps on borrowing money to do that. Okay, then do not marry a man who is always frequently borrowing money, and many times from his friends, from people, and he never pays back. Run for your life. Number 4, in-law troubles. Okay, are you getting value so far from this? Are you getting some real insights and revelations so far from this? Please type it in the comments. What are your aha moments so far? What are the things you have heard so far that's really, really powerful, both for you and for your friends? Okay? And then please don't forget to tell us where you are joining us from. All right. How do you know that you are going to have in-law troubles? Because that one is another big headache for many women in marriage. In-law interference. Okay, so if this guy has overbearing parental influence, especially his mother, he still sucks his mother's breast. He doesn't do anything until he consults with his mother. In fact, one woman told me that they this time they are married. She says that every time that the man says, "Oh, you insulted my mother, go and apologize to my mother. You insulted my mother, go and apologize to my mother." That is terrible. Then again, if this guy disrespects your family and he belittles you, and then I've heard somebody say, "I'm marrying you. You see, you're from a very poor background. I'm marrying you just to help you." I mean, you're not, nobody, if a man says that, he's marrying you just to help you, you better run for your life. He said, your family is poor. Look at you. Look at the place you come from. I'm just marrying you because I want to help you. Ha, my sister, run, oh. Run, oh, like they say in Ghana and in Nigeria. Run, oh. Okay? Now, maybe this guy, this guy's family always criticize your relationship. They are always criticizing, and as they are criticizing your relationship, he himself is saying nothing. He's agreeing with them. Run, oh, run, oh. Number 5, what are the red flags that will show you that this man is in a secret cult? Because I have seen situations where people get married, and then there's a room that the man tells the woman, "You must never enter this particular room. The day you enter that room is the day you die. I will kill you." This is your husband. Okay? How do you prevent that from happening? So watch out for mysterious rituals, mysterious activities, secretive behaviors, and rituals that he does not even explain. Okay? He burns red candles at 12 midnight, and then he chants some things, staying in a particular position, and he makes himself naked at 1 a.m. at the night, and just stupid behaviors. Okay, they are mysterious, and he can't explain them to you. Run, no, run for your life. Sometimes he disappears in the night, and he doesn't tell you where he went. Or you see strange objects around him and symbols, things you don't understand, you know, books, secretive things, and what they mean, and he doesn't tell you about that. Or he has friends and club members, but you don't know what that club is about. Run, no, run, no, run, no, sister, run for your life. Don't come to me after 3 months after you get married and say, my husband is in a secret cult and I'm scared, I'm terrified. Okay. Number 6, there have been occasions where a man marries a woman, and then the woman discovers only after the marriage that the guy is gay, and he did not tell her before they got married. The woman wants to have a baby, wants to have children, but the man is not just interested. In fact, there's one really very bad story a couple of years ago, that kind of situation. He said to the girl, look, I just did it because my parents kept on forcing me to get married. I don't love women. I don't do women. I do men. And there's nothing we can do about it. Terrible situation. He said, look, I just did it to please my parents, but I have no business with you. So they were married 6 months, 9 months, 1 year, nothing. I think the woman eventually had to run. But you can prevent this. You can check out the red flags. If the man is avoiding, and I said non-sexual intimacy, non-sexual, because I've told you earlier on that it is preferred for you, for your good, for your future, not to have premarital sex. Because if you do, it sets you up for danger. And then if you're already doing it, please stop it. It's going to destroy your future. I am married, and I can tell you that. Okay, I got married on my 30th birthday, and I was chaste. I had never known what it was, what the woman's body was. The same thing with my wife. And I can tell you that 29 years after, one of the things that have strengthened our faithfulness to one another is the fact that we were faithful when we were courting. We did not do it. We told ourselves we want to honor ourselves until we got married. All right. So if this guy is avoiding non-sexual intimacy, like he can't hold hands with you in the public, he can't hug you occasionally, those non-sexual things, I think you should be very curious. If he also displays excessive interest in same-sex relationship, he talks about it, he shows interest in it, he watches it, he takes you to movies where same-sex relationships and things like that, run for your life. Okay. The other one is very subtle. Sometimes you have these big men. They have this employee. He's a male, possibly a driver, gardener, a cook, or somebody living in the house with him. No female relationships. And then he shows unusual affection to this driver, to this cook, to this gardener, to this co-worker in the office. My sister, be very, very curious. Okay, let your heart guide you. Number 7, and the last one for tonight. To avoid getting into a marriage that has very, very complicated health challenges, because I can tell you that if you get married to a man who has not disclosed his medical history, his health status to you, and then you get in and discover that, number one, this man is important, he can't you want to have a baby, but he can't, all right? Or you discover that he has some kind of chronic illness, and that will require a lot of maintenance. Like, it's like you're basically going into the marriage to become his nurse or his health care provider. Yeah, even though, that's part of the package, that men and women in marriage, do for each other. They help each other when one person falls sick. But in a case that this guy has some chronic ill health, which does not disclose to you, and then you get married, it can be very, very problematic. You went in there to become a wife, but you end up being a nurse, a healthcare provider for the man, who becomes invalid with a chronic disease. The same thing applies to the woman, but like I said, we're going to talk about the woman's zone next Sunday. But there have been cases that the women fail to disclose their medical history, even to the fact that they had had several abortions and had their uterus removed, and the man gets married 5 years, 7 years, there's no baby. He still does not know that the wife does not have uterus. I mean, incredible things are going on in our world. So how can you find out? What are the red flags to show you that this man might actually have some deep health conditions that is hiding from you before marriage? Number one, he doesn't talk about it. So I remember I just felt obliged when I was courting with my wife. I felt obliged. I felt it was a natural thing to do. I told my wife about my left knee dislocation. So, like within the first week we met, I said, well, I had a sports accident because I was a school's high jumper in Federal Government College, Okigwe. So in 1984, early 1984, I had sports accident and then I dislocated my knees. Now, it was not well handled and well treated. So I have this knee pain, that comes up occasionally, even though you see me jogging and doing exercise many times. So I have a bad knee, and again, because it was not well treated, it affected my thighs. My left thigh is smaller than my right. I told my wife, and I showed her the dislocation. Well, she wasn't my wife at the time, she was my fiancée. First week in our relationship. I said, please, I do not know if this is important to you, so I have to lay it for you so that when you are making your decisions, you will know. Okay? I think that was before she said yes to me or something like that. So, and I disclosed everything about my financial situation. The day I was proposing to her, I told her I am not rich. I do not have money anywhere because I didn't. I did not have a bank account anywhere because I didn't. And I said, these are just the number of clothes I had. These sandals you see on my feet, that's what I have. And then one other shoe. I said, I do not have today, but I'm a very ambitious person and I know that I'm going to have tomorrow. I disclose this. So if a person you are courting cannot disclose his health situation, medical history, so you don't even know that maybe in his family there's a history of mental health situation, or he has some kind of spinal cord condition that affects him, then you are in trouble. But you can find out. You can become curious. If you discover that this guy is always going in and out of hospital, and he's not telling you the reasons, he's not telling you why he's going in and out of the hospital, it might be that he is hiding a very serious medical condition. All right? If also you visit him, or everywhere he goes, he's carrying around his medications and he's not explaining to you why he takes those medications, or he just tells you something like, oh, his vitamins I'm taking, he lies about it. My sister, there's a problem. All right? So these are the 7 red flags that, young lady, you should look out for. God has made you young women in such a way that you sense these things. You are very, very intuitive. You actually see these things better than men can see them. You already know intuitively in your heart that this marriage is going to lead you to trouble. But you always think, anyway, let's give it a try. And many people, despite the red flags and the warnings, they have given it a try. And then that try has cost many girls their lives. I told you to listen to the song. I still will encourage you to listen to Babyface song. He said that the title of that song, I think it was in the 1980s or 1990s, is How Long, or something like that. Listen to it. Very sad story of many girls today. Many young women are getting killed in marriages. We've had some famous ones, like a famous singer, gospel singer in Nigeria that literally the whole world mourned. That was just a few years ago. But I tell you, the warning signs were there. And people who were close to her, the warning signs were there. But you see, our women choose to ignore warning signs and still go into marriages that eventually consume them. But my prayer for you, and then for some of you here who are already married, and then you have daughters who are going to get married, take this material, share it widely with them. Take this material, go through this video with your daughter, with your sister, with your friend who is actually stepping into this trap right now. Sit down with your friend because some of you women, you also see it, when somebody, one of your girlfriends, wants to marry a man, all your girlfriends, 4 of you who are friends to this girl, you normally feel it inside you, and you are telling her, Cynthia, don't go, Cynthia, don't follow this man, but she says she wants to go. Sit Cynthia down with this video, go through it, then I believe that she will be saved. But if she decides to go on after all these red flags, then Cynthia's blood is not in your hand. All right, so this is where we are going to hang it today. I want to thank all of you for being here today. So I'm going to see you again tomorrow, but tomorrow is going to be the usual time, which is 8 p.m., not 7 p.m. today. We had it at 7 p.m. because we have another live event coming up by 8 p.m. today. All right, so thank you all very much, and I will see you today. Please go ahead and ask your questions in the live comment section.